Hello and welcome to Andy McCarroll Movies. On Facebook this week I asked you to give me your favourite Irish movies and you gave me a fantastic response. There's some big names that surprisingly don't make the list, and perhaps even more surprisingly that we had votes for Mrs. Brown's Boys the movie, despite it being an unfunny pile of... what's the word?
Wank wank. No.
Yep, that's the one. The Irish have always had a reputation as storytellers, and the big screen has provided us with another medium to tell our myths, our legends and our history. So here it is, as voted by you. It's the 10 best Irish movies of all time. Enjoy. First up at number 10 we have The Commitments, the first adaptation of Roddy Dawes' marvellous Barrytown trilogy. Tells the story of a working class Dubliners who form a soul band. The film ignited the Irish movie scene, launching the careers of Colin Meaney and Glenn Hansard, not to mention being the debut appearance of the Corrs. A proposed sequel would have seen the band reunited in New York. Never came to fruition, but to quote Joey the Lips, sure, we could have been famous and made albums and stuff, but that would have been predictable. This way, it's poetry. At number 9, it's The Wind That Shakes the Barley, a fictional account of two Cork brothers who joined the Irish Republican Army to fight for independence from the UK. The film tells the story of two brothers played brilliantly by Cillian Murphy and Padraig Delaney, as their differing beliefs slowly tear them apart. Directed by Englishman Ken Loach, the film doesn't go down the usual route of simply making it a black and white good guys versus bad guys movie, with young men on both sides equally becoming victims of war. It's a heartbreaking, powerful look at the troubles that brilliantly captures all its consequences. At number 8, it's In the Name of the Father, the story of Jerry Conlon and the Guildford Four who spent 15 years in prison after being wrongly convicted of a pub bombing in 1974. The film takes some dramatic license with the story. For example, Jerry and Giuseppe Conlon were in different prisons for most of their sentences and never actually shared a cell. That aside, it's mostly a story about the relationship between a father and his estranged son. Daniel Day-Lewis and Pete Postlethwaite are absolutely mesmerising in their roles, and both would be Oscar nominated. After his release from prison, Conlon had problems adjusting to civilian life, suffering 2 nervous breakdowns, an attempted suicide, and becoming addicted to drugs and alcohol. Thankfully he recovered and became a campaigner against various miscarriages of justice in the UK and around the world, all the way until his death in 2014. At 7, it's Darby, OGill and the Little People. 7th. Seriously, 7th. This is the film what I imagine most Americans think Ireland is actually like. Leprechauns spending their time drinking whiskey and dancing and watching horse racing. The 1959 Disney film sees Darby OGill not wanting to tell his daughter that his position has been taken by a dashing young Dubliner, who of course is played by dashing Dubliner Sean Connery. On the way home, Darby slips through a portal to the land of the little people. There he meets the leprechaun king Brian, who after an absolutely bonkers fiddling scene, grants him 3 wishes. There's banshees, magic, leprechauns and James Bond. Actually, you know what? This film's fantastic. At number 6 is The War of the Buttons. The 1994 Irish drama film is actually based on a French novel. The story about 2 rival gangs in Ireland, the Ballys and the Carricks, was almost never released after a lawsuit from the parents of some of the boys was filed. The grounds for the case was that the boys' naked buttocks could be seen in the film. It was eventually dismissed after a lineup of similar assets proved that the boys could not be identified by their rear ends alone. To this day, the film ending still causes debate and has been the source of many an argument. Which one did Mary marry? At number 5, it's Into the West, a gritty Irish fairy tale set in Ballymun with 2 kids, Ozzy and Tito. Tito? It's Tito, and that's the end of it. Live with their widowed alcoholic father, played by Gabriel Byrne. Their grim existence is uplifted by the arrival of their grandfather, who has brought with him a magical horse from legend, the land of eternal youth, Tiernan Og. When crooked cops discover the prized animal, they commandeer it and intend to sell it as a racing horse. Furious, the boys set off to rescue the mythical creature. At number 4, it's The Quiet Man. Set in the fictional Irish town of Innisfree and shot in Con, County Mayo, although ironically most of the interior was shot in Hollywood in a studio called Republic, the team of director John Ford and actor John Wayne will go on to make some of the best westerns of all time. Here they show a softer side as Wayne plays a boxer who, after killing an opponent in a fight, flees America and returns to his native Ireland to reclaim his family's farm. There he more than meets his match in fiery Mary Kate Danaher, played by Maureen O'Hara. The film, which was referred to as the studio as the silly Irish story that won't make a penny, will go on to be nominated for Best Picture, while John Ford would take home the Oscar for Best Director. At number 3, it's Michael Collins. The 1996 movie about the establishment of the Irish Free State could have looked very different. Initially first set to star Kevin Costner, he was then replaced by Gabriel Byrne, before finally Liam Neeson was cast as the Irish Revolutionary. John Turturro turned down the role of Eamon de Valera, but most bizarrely of all, Tom Cruise was offered the role of the assassin, which was played in the movie by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Instead, thankfully we ended up with perhaps the best Irish cast ever assembled. Historically questionable, but for pure entertainment it delivers. The film is a mix of political drama and gangster thriller with brilliant performances from its cast from both sides of the Atlantic, apart from a woefully miscast Julia Roberts. Undoubtedly the most ambitious Irish film ever made, it's a masterclass in scale and scope with beautiful sets and a gorgeous score. It remains endlessly watchable. And number 2, it's The Snapper. The second story in Roddy Daw's Barrytown trilogy is beautifully simple. Sharon Corley gets pregnant and won't tell anyone who the father is, other than it's a Spanish sailor, and the family do their best to adapt to the incoming new edition. What sets this movie apart is the human highlight reel Desi Corley, played fantastically by Colin Meaney. Endlessly quotable, he peppers the film with a lifetime's worth of memorable one-liners. This film, perhaps more than any other, has seeped into Irish culture. Every girl in Ireland who's been pregnant after 1993 has had some variation of 7 pound 12 ounces, small turkey or Georgie Borges said to her during her pregnancy. The number 1 Irish film of all time, as voted by you, is a film that currently sits at 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics are idiots. Except for me, of course. The film in question is the 1990 Jim Sheridan drama The Field, starring Richard Harris as the ferocious Bull McCabe. The film revolves around his struggle to secure the sale of the titular field from the hands of a wealthy American played by Tom Berenger. Ray McAnally, who played Christy Brown's father in My Left Foot, was initially cast as a bull but died before shooting commenced. Sean Connery and Marlon Brando were considered for the role before Richard Harris arranged a meeting with director Jim Sheridan, turned up in full costume and in character in order to win the role. A grim, powerful movie, The Field is an unforgettable tale of sadness, regret and obsession. So that's our list. Agree or disagree, let us know. I'm Andy McCarroll and thanks for watching.
And that's the end of that chapter.